walked 3 and struck out 7. The throw to first, and Kimbrough is back easily. Gage steps back in now. Sidearm pitch, way outside for a ball. We're going to show you Kimbrough reaching first base and see if you think he got to first base before the throw went wild. This is the replay. Villalobos winds up and throws. Yeah, he'd beaten it out. Now we're back live where a throw to first base is too late to pick off Kimbrough. So Vince Kimbrough legs out a single to short. 1-0 the count on Scotty Gage. The Texans lead it 2-0. Jones's delivery bounced wide of first base. The second sacker up with it, throws to first in time for the out. And Kimbrough goes down to second base. So Gage hitting behind the runner, grounds out second to first. Kirk Black tossing over to Phil Verricchio for the out. Kimbrough now finds himself in scoring position, and Chris Parshall, the center fielder, will be our batter. Sidearm pitch outside for a ball. Third baseman David Jones playing up almost at the edge of the infield grass. There's another one down low, ball 2. Jones plays a very shallow third base. Now you'll see him, I would anticipate that he'll move up a step or two. Let's see if he does. As the pitcher gets ready to deliver the ball. There we go as he starts sneaking in again. Pitch down the pipe for a strike, 2-1. It's going to be very difficult to lay one down, a bunt down on the third base side, simply because Jones plays such a shallow third base. But when you do that, you do give up something. Here's the 2-1 pitch down low, ball 3. And that is the fact that the closer you get to the batter, the better the chance can be that a ground ball is going to get past you. It just gives you less reaction time. It also cuts down the surface that you can cover as you're playing. The check of the runner on the 3-1 pitch hit right back to the pitcher. Throws to second and throws it into center field. The base runner down at third base really gets a break. Wow, Kimbrough is a lucky man. Now going down to second base is the batter. And the Cardinals are very, very lucky. Kimbrough ran through his stop sign at third base, got halfway home, and then just froze. The throw came through to the catcher, and the catcher didn't realize that Kimbrough was so far off. We'll show it to you again. First of all, the pitcher throws the ball away. Whoops, break number 1. Now here comes break number 2. Kimbrough, whoops, stops, goes, stops again. What am I going to do? Goes back to third base, never drawing the throw, and by the time the catcher looks down at second base, in goes the batter.
Williams given the intentional base on ball. That brings up first baseman, number 11, Clint Davis.
So we've got runners at second and third, and this is Keith Williams has just drawn an intentional base on balls. There he is down at first base. So the bases are loaded, and Clint Davis comes up. Bases loaded, 1 out. There's one tap foul down the third baseline. In high school baseball, you do not have to throw the 4 pitches outside the strike zone. You merely signal the runner to go to first base, and that's the way they issue the automatic or the intentional pass here. Now 0-1 the count on Clint Davis, who had 3 base hits the first game. Sidearm pitch off the corner, 1-1. The Cardinals down 2-0, but they've gotten some breaks here that give them the opportunity to get back in this ball game. Kimbrough leads away from third. Pitch swung on a drill down the right field line. It is a foul ball. Ooh, that was close. Boy, I'll tell you, if that baby had been fair, that would have been a 3-run double off the bat of Davis. But sometimes it would appear that the biggest word in the English language is just of 2 letters, if. Watch it again. Down that line, and you can see it curved foul by a couple of feet. And now Clint Jones has got the advantage. He's got a 1-2 count. Kimbrough at third base, Partial on second, Williams at first, bases loaded, 1 out. Low and away, ball 2. Davis with the good eye. Again, Jones at third is playing up right at the edge of the infield grass. First baseman is also playing up. Jones studies the situation, delivers, and it's fouled out of play. So Davis hangs in there. Chris Partial down at second base. Williams away from first. Kimbrough at third. Clint Davis, the batter, bases loaded. There's the situation. 2-2 count with 1 out. Struck out swinging. The ball gets away from the catcher. Kimbrough will score, and it's a 2-1 ball game. So Davis goes down swinging. Even though the catcher did not hold the third strike, Davis cannot reach first base, and that's because there was a runner on first base at the time. So Davis is out on strikes. Kimbrough, who's just had a charmed life, scores on the pass ball. Boy, this is really fluky here. There's Kimbrough coming in to score to make it a 2-1 ball game. Now we're back live. This is John Mihalik. Runners are at second and third, 2 down. Pitch off the corner for a ball. Partial away from third. Williams down at second. 1-0 the count to Mihalik. Here's a high hopper. Shortstop Villalobos with the ball. The throw to first, he got him. And the side's retired. And Mihalik, much to his displeasure, repeats what he did in that first game. Leave men on base. In the first game of this doubleheader, Mihalik left 8 men on base. Here he grounds out with 2 men on to end the inning. A run for the Cardinals. Mihalik bouncing it off the plate, and Villalobos has really got that real good arm. Just did get him. Mihalik's got good speed. So for the Cardinals in the bottom of the first, they get a run. 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 miscue, 2 men left on base, and at the end of 1 full inning of play, it's Sam Houston 2, MacArthur 1. We'll be back in just a moment.
Have you been reading your cigarette pack lately? Hmm?
There's one dangerous stunt you couldn't pay me to do. Smoke.
Let's do it again.
The American Heart Association. We're fighting for your life.
Have you been reading your cigarette pack lately? Hmm?
Top of the second inning, Tom Gentz leads off for the Texans. He is the DH. Tim Moore's first delivery. Fastball inside. 1-0.
How many balls is that, rookie? 30? Oh, 32.
Moore really getting the chore right here. Pressure really on this youngster to hold the Texans. Fastball off the outside corner. Ball 2. 2-0. Gentz trying to start things off for his club here in the top of the second inning by reaching base safely. Takes one up high, ball 3. So he's in the driver's seat right now. 3-0 the count. Williams behind the plate, calling signals. 3-0 pitched against. Outside, ball 4 is on. 4 straight pitches, he draws the walk. So for the second consecutive inning here, the Texans start things off by getting their leadoff man on. That's what you like to do, obviously. Kurt Black, the second baseman, comes up. He certainly showed that he can bunt. He laid down an all-important bunt in that first game. Breaking pitch off the outside corner for a ball. Tommy Cantrell, the Arlington coach, flashing the signs from third base. Pitch inside on Black, ball 2. Moore has missed 6 in a row. And this calls for the coach to come out. Carl Childers wants to talk to his young starting pitcher out there, trying to settle him down. Look at the big bubble blown by Tim Moore there. Moore ended the first inning by striking out Phil Verricchio and Greg Edwards. But he starts this one by walking Tom Gentz, and he's behind on second baseman Kurt Black with a count of 2-0. That's Kurt right there. Boy, these teams have really been evenly matched. First 2 playoff games have been outstanding. The 2-0 count. Black shortens up, takes one up high, ball 3. One of the many truisms of baseball is there is no defense against a wild pitcher. You've got to throw strikes in this game to be successful. The 3-0 pitch right down the pipe, strike 1, 3-1. Gentz has been taking a pretty modest lead off first base. Being held on, as you can see, by Clint Davis. Down low and away, ball 4. The ball gets away from Williams, but the runners will just move up 90 feet. Gentz goes down to second. Black strolls over to first. So back-to-back walks, and the first 2 men in this inning have gotten on just as they did in the first inning. The batter is David Jones, who drove in the winning run in the first game of the doubleheader with a long sacrifice fly to right center field. Moore's pitch fouled back for a strike. So Arlington trying to pick up some more runs here. And in the mind of head coach Tommy Cantrell, the play was to lay a bunt down, try and advance those base runners, get them in scoring position. The lights have come on here at the field. Still enough sunlight so that they're not taking effect, but they will eventually. One of those excuse me bunts by Jones, slapped at it at the last second, fouled it back, strike 2. In the on-deck circle is Ivan Villalobos, who has reached base in all 5 plate appearances. Moore, a check of the runner, leading off second. Comes to the plate, a breaking ball, bounced down to Hedges, takes a high hop. Hedges goes to the shortstop for 1. The throw back to first not nearly in time, and we've got runners at first and third. So Jones grounds into a fielder's choice, and again a real high hop. Boy, we've seen a lot of those in these 2 games. The ball will just take a couple of hops, and then as it comes to the center fielder, it just seems to, rather to the infielder, seems to explode. Runners at the corners with 1 out, Ivan Villalobos. This is probably the one guy you really don't want to see up right now if you're a MacArthur fan, simply because he has so consistently reached base. Started off this game by singling into center field, and in the first game of the Twin Bill, he was really dynamite. He walked twice, got a base hit, and was also hit by a pitch. They try the squeeze play, and it is fouled off on the bunt attempt, strike 1, and the runners were going. That was not the delayed squeeze at all. That was the suicide squeeze. The difference between the two, the delayed squeeze or the safety squeeze, the batter bunts the ball, and only after having done that do the base runners decide whether they have the opportunity to advance. With the suicide squeeze, the runners are off with the pitch. 0-1 to Ivan Villalobos, the throw to third, and Gentz not going anywhere. Moore with one strike on Villalobos. Good fastball, foul back, strike two. So Moore takes the advantage. The umpiring crew got some new baseballs from MacArthur head coach Carl Childers just before this game. One of them in play right now. 0-2 to Villalobos. Oh, here's one bounced away. Williams trying to make the play at the plate, not nearly in time. And it's a 3-1 ball game as Moore wild pitches in a run. Williams never had an opportunity on this thing. That was a 58-yard fastball, but rather a 58-foot fastball. The mound being about 66 feet from home plate. That one was way out in front. 3-1 now our score. 1-2 the count on Ivan Villalobos. And he fouls it back again. He's tough. David Jones down off second base. Villalobos is the batter. It's a good shot of both those men. Here's one hit off the thumbs to the shortstop. Mihalik with it. High throw to first, but Davis hauls it in, and they're two away. And on the play, David Jones goes over to third base. So for the first time tonight, they finally get Villalobos out. He has really been a thorn in the side of the Cardinals. Mihalik with a quick flip throw to first base. Wes Shank, left fielder, up and bounces it to Mihalik. Again, a high hop. Mihalik fields it nicely, throws to first, and the side's retired. That was really a very nice play by John Mihalik. For some reason, during the course of this doubleheader, those balls have really been taking high hops just as they come to the infielder, and that one did the same thing. But Mihalik, with the very quick hands, was able to spear the ball right up about eye high and then throw out the batter. The Texans pick up one run in that inning on no hits. A run, there were no hits, no errors, one man left on. And after 2.5 innings of play, you see our score, it's 3-1. Those walks came back to certainly haunt Tim Moore. Walked the first two men, and one of them came home to score. 2 walks and a wild pitch, and wildness hurt the Cardinals in that top of the second inning. Real nice crowd here tonight for the 2 games. Boy, you have to hand it to the Texans because they came over here realizing that they're going to have to win both games of the doubleheader to advance. They've won the first one. They lead here in game number 2. And because of a fluke in the weather, all 3 playoff games have been played here on MacArthur's home field. The first game was scheduled and played here. The second game was to have been played in Arlington, but was rained out. And then they were thinking about playing games 2 and 3 in Arlington earlier today, but they couldn't because of the heavy rains. It had rained lightly in Irving, so it was decided that the games would be played here. So the Texans find themselves playing all 3 playoff games away from home. That's not too easy to do. Eddie Palmer, the right fielder, leads things off for the Cardinals, taking a deep breath there. Eddie saved the Cardinals' bacon, temporarily at least, in the top of the 7th inning, down 2-1 when he tripled the left field. Eventually, the Cardinals tied the game, only to lose it in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch to Palmer, in for a strike. That one jams him, and he fouls it off, strike 2. Chris Jones likes to come sidearm to right-handed hitters, and he's got a bunch of right-handers in this lineup that he's facing. Every MacArthur batter in this lineup is a right-handed hitter. And you know, Jones likes to see that. Ooh, that was just off the corner. Good eye that time by Palmer. Zimmerman behind the plate said something, disputing the call, and the umpire said, nope, it was a ball. There's one grounded through in a left field. Nice hit by Palmer, and he's on. So Eddie leads things off with the Cardinals by getting on base with a base hit. That's exactly what Vince Kimbrough did in the bottom of the first inning for MacArthur. He, too, reached safely with a base hit. Left fielder Kevin Gill is our batter. Kevin is a junior. Jones's pitch trickled back for a strike. As long as Jones is out on the mound for the Texans, you're going to see a lot of sidearm pitches. He is not primarily a strikeout pitcher, but he does like to make things rough on those right-handed hitters. Pitch evens up the count at 1-1. Zimmerman behind the plate, catching both ends of this doubleheader. Now the same is true for MacArthur's Keith Williams. The throw to first, and Palmer gets back easily. The Cardinals of Irving MacArthur, district champs of 8-5A. Again, the throw to first with the same results. The team that finished in second place in 8-5A tied for second and actually won the right to go into the playoffs, Duncanville. They've already knocked off Arlington Martin. There's a high pop foul that'll curve back out of play. Palmer was off with the pitch as the Cardinals were playing hit and run. Arlington Sam Houston runner-up in 7-5A. Duncanville winning the first two games of their playoff with Martin. And this is playoff game number 3 for these two clubs. Jones in front of Gill with a 1-2 count. Jams him on the ground ball, hit down to the first baseman. They'll go to get the front runner, and they do. Barricchio cutting down the lead runner. Gunning his toss down to Ivan Villalobos. And that's a heads-up play. You always want to stop that lead runner.
Batting next, second baseman, number 25, Darren Hedges.
Villalobos very wisely did not attempt to throw back to first base, realizing that no way could he throw out the runner, and probably the only thing he might do is throw the ball away. The second sacker, Darren Hedges, chokes up a little off the bat, and they pick the runner off of first base. Kevin Gill picked off. Good throw by Jones. He's dead meat. Boy, that's where you always feel so bad when that happens. But there's nothing much that you can say. Very fast throwing. Yeah, they had him. Boy, that was close. So Jones helps his own cause by picking off the base runner. Comes in sidearm to Hedges, who fouls it off. In the first game of our doubleheader, Scotty Hedges picked off 2 Texan base runners at first. Now Jones returns the compliment. Scotty Gage, I said Jones. It's Scotty Gage who was the pitcher. There's one again, jamming the batter, who fouls it off. Noticing that these right-handed hitters are not getting around on the offerings of Chris Jones. They're slicing a lot of them foul down the right field line. They just are way behind the ball, swinging late. Good shot of Darren Hedges, thinking things over. Oh, and 2 our count. Chris Jones on the mound, watching him as he fingers the ball as he holds it behind his back. The 0-2 pitch. Bounce foul down the third base line. So Hedges stays alive. Sam Houston has a good-looking infield, very strong defensively. 1-2 the count to Darren Hedges. Chris Jones with the 1-2 pitch. Floats up high, ball 2. 2-2. That one took off. We're in the bottom of the second inning. The Sam Houston Texans out in front of the Irving MacArthur Cardinals 3-1. Hedges again hangs tough and fouls it back. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, no one on base. Hedges batting out of the crouch. Got him on strikes. For Jones, his second strikeout of the night. And the Cardinals go down fairly quietly in the bottom of the second inning. No runs. There was 1 hit, no one left on. No miscues. After 2 full innings of play, it's Sam Houston 3 and Irving MacArthur 1. Well, one of these strategies in baseball, and we've seen quite a bit of it today, but one of these strategies is determining who you are going to pitch in any particular game. Now, this obviously is a very important game because there is no tomorrow for one of these clubs. Whichever team loses, their season is over with. The head coach for the Texans, Tommy Cantrell, decides to go with the young man who is considered to be his ace, Chris Jones. There's Tommy Cantrell right there. Some fans standing around the railing, watching things taking place. And as far as strategy is concerned, Carl Childers, head coach for Irving MacArthur, decided to start Tim Moore, and there's Tim out there right now. John Zimmerman, the catcher, comes up. It's been a pretty quiet day for Zimmerman. 0 for 4 in the first game, striking out 3 times. He grounded back to the pitcher back in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1 in game number 2. Fastball blown right by him. Zimmerman came into this playoff series with a batting average over 300. And that was true for several of these Texan players. Good hitting the team here. Breaking pitch right up the middle, center field base hit. So for the 3rd consecutive inning, the Texans get the leadoff man on.
Center fielder, Roger Rumsey.
Roger Rumsey drove in 2 runs in the first inning when he doubled down the left field line. Got a ground rule double. Drove in both Ivan Villalobos and Wes Schenk. And Moore again pitching from the stretch. Ball 1 outside. Well, let's see what Tommy Cantrell will pull here. You would think that Zimmerman, who doesn't really have good running speed, would not be off on a pitch. Way outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on Roger Rumsey. John Zimmerman down at first base. That's Clint Davis holding the runner on, trying to make a target in case there's an attempt for a pickoff. One drilled out in the left center field, base hit. Takes a high hop. Gill cuts the ball off and gets it back in. So Rumsey has hit the ball well twice toward left field. Back-to-back solid base hits. And out to the mound comes Carl Childers, walking very slowly. Childers is calling his catcher, Keith Williams, to the mound.